Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive form, where we will be discussing how to track value changes with the form group. So prior to this session, we talked about various other topics, and now we are going to continue the same series where we will talk mainly about the value changes in form group. Okay. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on the basic thing, but prior to that you should know about the other thing that we have already covered. Okay. And for that you can also refer the Sharmit digital coursebook, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find more than 3000 plus free resources, which is available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can consume the content. Okay. Alright. So let's get started. Here you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file, where I have mentioned one heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Another heading shows reactive form in Angular, value changes in form group. Then we have two horizontal rows. In between these two horizontal rows, we will define our entire form. But prior to that, we should know about the requirement, and also we should import the all prerequisites. Okay. So requirement is very simple and straightforward. We just want to create a simple form with two fields, name and email. And then we want to access the live changes or live value we want to show on the browser. Okay. So to perform this thing, what we will do, we will simply firstly go to app.component.ts file. Now here on this ts file, we know that we are going to create the reactive form module, right? So here you can simply put a reactive forms module in the import part. Okay. Now we will expand this class, and here I will define all the required stuff related to our requirement. So first thing here I'm going to define is the variable latest value. So this variable will help us to store the values, the latest value. Okay. And type I'm defining as any for now. Okay. Fine. So this variable is ready now, or maybe you can write a comment over here that to display live value in UI. ठीक है, UI पे हमें live value दिखानी है, तो हम इसका use करेंगे. Okay, fine. So if you want to show this on UI, then in that case we will use this live latest value. Then we will define one form group, that is user form, and here I will define new form group. Okay. Then opening closing parenthesis, inside this we will define the closing braces, and here I will firstly mention about name. So name form control, opening closing quotes, and then we will define validators dot required. Okay. So name new form control blank validators dot required. Then we will put one comma over here, and then the second variable, that is for email, new form control single quotes, then a comma, then we will write here validators dot email. Okay. So these two things are ready. Now what we will do next, we are going to define one method, that is ng on init. Now those who don't know about the ng on it, remember this thing we have already covered in one of our previous session in this series, and I would strongly recommend you to firstly check that session so that you have idea what is ng on init. For now, just assume that it is a method that will be invoked automatically, and what were the circumstances that you can check in previous session. Okay, like in what all condition it got executed automatically. Okay. So for now I'm directly using it. So here I will write this dot user form dot value changes dot subscribe, opening closing parenthesis, then we will write here value, angular bracket, curly braces, and inside this we will define console.log. Then we'll mention form changed colon, then after a comma we will mention here value, then a semicolon, then after this we will write here this dot latest value equal value. So basically what this method will do, it will check for the changes and it will console that changes to the console screen, and also we are storing that value into the latest value, which we will use later to show the output on the UI. Clear? So this is very simple and straightforward code. I hope it is clear. Remember one thing, there are so many things that is imported automatically, like form control, form group, reactive form module, and also the validators. So always make sure these things are imported in your source, otherwise it won't allow you to use it in program. Okay, so let's go to app.component.html file. Here we will define form. Okay, and in form we will define form group, user form. Okay, then after that we will define here label. So this is first label where we will mention label name. Then we will define here input, and in input we will define here text. Okay, so for name we will use text, and we will assign here form control name. Okay, then we will mention here name because this is the form control name. After that we will mention here label for the email. Okay, then we will define here input where we will mention type, and this time I'm going to use for email. Okay, likewise we will define the form control name for email as well, and the variable, always make sure that you are using it in a same case because this is completely case sensitive. So if you are writing something with a different case, it will throw the error. So once this is ready, now we will show those live values also. So for that, after horizontal row we can add one h3 where we will mention live form value opening closing parenthesis from value changes. Okay, so here we are showing the values from value changes, so it will mainly populate the live form value. So for that we will use here pre-formatted text tag, open double curly braces. Here I will write latest value, and then we will mention here one pipe symbol and JSON. Currently JSON is throwing any error, not, maybe check if it is imported already. So what you are supposed to do here, you need to write here JSON pipe. Okay, and this should be inside curly braces, that's why it was not throwing any error. Okay, so not like this, latest value, then we will mention here JSON. Perfect. So if JSON pipe is not there, it will throw error. Let me show you. If I remove this part from here, let me show it again. So you can see it is throwing error, so it should be imported. That's why I put this JSON pipe here. Perfect. This thing is ready. Now we are good to run the program and see how it works. So ng serve -open. Just wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output on the browser screen. So you can see it is executed. Here you can see we have two headings: Angular course by Sharmit, reactive form and Angular value changes in form group, one horizontal row, label, input field, another label, another input field, and one heading for the live form value changes. Now click on right click, inspect, go to console, and here you will see the magic. So if I write something, let's say ABC, so you can see here it is showing live value and here it is logging each and every change on the console. Okay, same goes here. Like if I write here abc at 123.com, so you can see every time it is trapping the changes and storing it into the, like it is logging it to the console. Okay, and here also we can see the live changes. So this is exactly what we were looking for. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we are going to discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.